The policy is not working properly. The policy is not working properly. The politics, what is IT? The politics, what is IT? The politics, what is IT? We will put an end to totalitarian politics and create a new order. We don't need politics or politicians. We need peace, freedom, and resources to fulfill physiological needs of all people. A new order of direct democracy is coming. The old system, characterized by the abuse of politics, economy, natural resources, banks, stock exchanges, usury, propaganda, business, which main activity involves poverty and human trafficking, arms sale, parasitic ideology of the richest church in the world is coming to an end. Most politicians don't do their work. They just hand over strategic resources to oligarchs and leave the citizens poor and without rights. They create poverty, slavery, and wars. Politics is a modern term for a rule of several individuals and groups and their helpers who assist to keep the rulers in power. They are the people who organize human society and the earth even without knowledge and consent of the rest. Politics is a rule of a person over another person. It is a disruption of the balance in human society. People in politics are called politicians. They are, in fact, visible rulers. We can see and hear them in media announcing their decisions regarding crisis, price increases, wars, end of welfare, elimination of a pension system and other alarming information, crime, and shamelessness. Every enclosed region called state has its own politics, politicians, and a characteristic system of government. Each of these states is the same as its rulers are. A place where politics and politicians run a country without knowledge and consent of the others is a place with a system of rule and rulers. It is not a reasonable state administration that works for the benefit of their citizens. It is a rule of a few individuals and groups who mostly work for their own advantage. It is a totalitarian regime for the benefit of self-appointed elitists. It is different in every state, but generally we can assert that politics is more or less a monopoly on control of human society, power, system of rule, truth and lie, creating non-existent realities and illusions. It is a place from where orders are given and threats are received. It is a place that subjugates, confiscates, terrorizes, manipulates, and so on. Politics should be a place that manages affairs that affect everybody. They should do it on behalf of everybody and for the benefit of everybody. But reality is different. Politics is a monopoly on money, killing, torture, persecution, spying, accusation, arrest, imprisonment, wealth and poverty. It is a monopoly on tax collection and printing of useless papers called money. It is a monopoly on a search for non-existent enemies, monopoly on wars and sufferings of all kinds. Politics is a monopoly on control of human society without participation of the majority of human beings living in most states on this planet. There is a magical treasury in the middle of politics where hard-earned money from citizens of the planet is pouring. The treasury is bottomless. The bottom is probably missing and therefore everything that you put in disappears continuously. The more you put in, the more disappears. Every time the treasury is empty, politicians, visible rulers, order their slaves, it means us, citizens, to fill it up again. There are politicians near the treasury, and the higher their position or bigger their influence, the more money they take from the treasury. Politics makes itself appear important and mysterious. Most of its affairs and decisions are secret. They say that it is only right for us not to know what is occurring there. The people in politics don't want us to know. They say that it is for our own good. We are even told that we don't understand politics and that we shouldn't be interested in it and criticize it. Politics is an inanimate system that is more or less a continuation of the rule of barbarian rulers of history and their helpers. It is a world that keeps itself to itself. It has its inner hierarchy, structure, and rules. It has its unwritten laws and it follows these laws. This world is surrounded by an invisible fence. It is a system that controls and bleeds human beings and the earth dry. Politics is a made-up reality that the barbarian rulers of all times created. It is to control human beings and to take what they produced. People inside the system are brainwashed, pushed, persuaded, corrupted, and depraved by the system. In the end, when they have a lot of their acts against the Creator and other human beings to answer for, they make an agreement with the devil. For the riches and power they exchange their soul, the essence of their being. People inside the system are perpetrators and offenders. They rule, therefore they are rulers. Every ruler makes decisions. Because of what he does or fails to do is responsible for himself and for other people. It goes on like that throughout the known human history, without an exception. The people outside the system of politics are slaves. The system takes for granted that they would work, serve, and sacrifice themselves for the system, pay taxes on their labor, and pay for the system's offenses and mistakes. The system expects their loyalty. They are expected to act as informers, to persecute others, to torture and kill in unnecessary wars that bring profit and power for the rulers. Those outside the system are victims. Most business in politics is secret. Secrecy is one of the most important and unwritten laws of politics. Should human beings outside politics found out about everything politics has to answer for, if they knew what is happening inside politics, the very existence of politics would be threatened. Politics would cease to exist immediately. Politics is not controlled by man. The enclosed system called politics controls man. It even controls the rulers themselves. It is like a virus, like an epidemic. It is an illness. Who is infected doesn't die, his body does not die, only his soul does. Overwhelming majority of those who get into politics become rich, become corrupted, become arrogant, start feeling bigger, more powerful, and in the end they declare themselves the elite. The craziest ones proclaim themselves God and start meddling into His work. They stop being fearful of killing and become unashamed enough to take other people's lives. Politics is a factory for robots. A human being with a soul as the God made him comes in, and at the end of a production line a dehumanized robot without a soul comes out. Everybody who gets ill with an illness called politics and serves this inhuman system is condemned and punished. His punishment is fear. Life in fear is the worst kind of gradual death. Such people are afraid of punishment for their actions. They are afraid of losing their power, money, privileges, servants, palaces. They are afraid, and their fear is their only companion. Their fear will never leave them because there are no friends in politics, only enemies and competitors. Politics is a deceiving reality. It deceives when it pretends to be the only appropriate system of organization of human society. It lies when it says that it runs the society for the benefit of all human beings. It lies when it pretends to be useful, because it is, in fact, a harmful system which manipulates others through the use of force. It lies when it claims to be beneficial because, in reality, it is mostly a parasitic system feeding on work and products of others and taking advantage of them. It lies when it says that it gives, because it is mostly a parasitical system that lives off the work and products of others. It lies when it claims to be important because it cannot survive or exist without human beings. Politics needs human beings, but at the same time it parasites on them. Politics drains human beings of all their energy, because it makes them do what they don't need and don't want to do. It makes them work more and more, it takes hard-earned fruit of their labor and it intrudes into their lives. Politics is a place where decisions about someone else's money, human beings, human society, and the planet Earth are made without the right and consent from the majority of people to do so. Politics is a place where decisions about most matters in human society are made. Politics is a place where plans for getting human beings under control by use of force, murder, persecution, spying, blackmailing, tax imposing and slave work are thought up and organized. Politics is also a place where hired killers, mercenaries, spies, torturers, slanderers, spin doctors, tax collectors, and executioners are hired to keep the regime in power. All of it is paid by politics from the funds of those who are the target of the violence. Like a magnet, politics particularly attracts the worst barbarians such as various careerists, robbers, aggressors, sadists, deranged psychopaths. It attracts people who want to get rich and gain power over other people. Politics doesn't mind anybody who supports it. Politics minds its critics and adversaries. It means free and thinking people. Being in politics doesn't require education, genius, special skills, knowledge, or the talent. It requires a strong stomach and indifference to suffering of others. Politics requests lack of character, humanity, and empathy. It requires lust for power, predator's instinct, and not to be afraid of committing murder. Politics doesn't agree with the meaning of words such as love, understanding, empathy, and God. Politics is full of smart alecks, fools, careerists, hatred, envy, craziness and want. Politics is full of politicians and their supporters. Many of them don't have many virtues, and that is why they live like wild animals. Politics acts and uses actions which are not compatible with morals, human, and God's law, nor with the trust in God. Nobody who believes in good God the Creator wants to rule other people. Nobody who believes in punishment for his actions can rule others. Nobody who loves people is capable of ruling them. Everybody who intentionally goes to politics and knows what it is about is, in fact, an atheist who doesn't believe in eternal justice. Politics is full of politicians denying reality and God. Politics doesn't represent interests of the majority of human beings and the planet Earth. It represents only itself. Politics doesn't have influence over and doesn't control those who are exceptional, such as prophets, human beings leading spiritual life. deeply religious people, and also fools. They will not hurt other people and therefore they intentionally stay away from politics and ruling. Politics has minimal impact on free and independent human beings. Politics has minimal impact on people with independent critical thinking. Politics has minimal impact on mentally and financially independent people. Politics controls human beings that are easily manipulated, insecure, indecisive, influenced by propaganda, financially insecure, working slaves. It represents only itself. Politics doesn't have influence over and doesn't control those who are exceptional, such as prophets, human beings leading spiritual life, deeply religious people, and also fools. They will not hurt other people and therefore they intentionally stay away from politics and ruling. Politics has minimal impact on free and independent human beings. Politics has minimal impact on people with independent critical thinking. Politics has minimal impact on mentally and financially independent people. Politics controls human beings that are easily manipulated, insecure, indecisive, influenced by propaganda, financially insecure, working slaves. Politics controls others through fear. Fear for one's job, existence, freedom, future, life, fear of non-existent enemies. It controls through violence, orders, restrictions, political police, soldiers, and prison, and also through laws that suppress individual and financial freedom. Politics is not subordinate to anybody and it is responsible for nothing because it is not a living creature. Politics is an illusion. It is an organizational system that can be revoked or changed any time. People who are responsible for it are individual politicians with a name and a position in politics. They are the people who keep this irrational system going. Politics as a system and politicians as individuals conspire and cooperate with invisible rulers in gaining money and power, in controlling world economy, natural resources, and human beings that live on the earth. Visible rulers support invisible rulers and vice versa, and all of them support totalitarian rulers. Visible ruler is one who is supposed to organize human society for the benefit of everybody through politics. Invisible ruler is one who controls the financial system, strategic economy, and natural resources as a private empire. Totalitarian ruler is one who is both a visible and invisible ruler. Instead of organizing a nation for the benefit of all people, politicians often make sure that there are the best laws and unwritten rules for invisible rulers. They make sure that there are the lowest taxes and tax havens for them. They revoke individual liberties and work rights of citizens in favor of the economy owners. They scale back social benefits, health care, school system, and other areas with the explanation that they are reducing countries' expenditures. They destroy or reduce control mechanisms in the economy. They privatize. It means they transfer their job to private empires, and in this way they secure enormous and unlimited wealth for a small number of private citizens. The essence of politics is a rule of a few individuals, groups, and their helpers over the rest. It's harmful and dangerous. It also leads to slavery and destruction of humankind. Only a few individuals make decisions and own. This is unacceptable. We do not want politics. Let's abolish it. We want rational organization of the human society and the planet Earth, this time for the benefit of everybody. Way of life in a village, city, region, and on the planet should be decided by those who live there. They should also benefit from it. We do not want anarchy created by politics. We do not want politicians who only work for their own benefit. We want law and order that would bring dignified life and abundance to everybody. Politics, it means a rule of a few individuals and groups, is unacceptable. Critical state of human society and the planet proves it. Politics, rule of a person over another person, is still here. It is not possible not to see it. It influences and controls our lives and the planet Earth. No individual, group, political or other party, parliament, king, emperor, sheikh, official, etc. is able to organize human society and the earth. They are not qualified for it. Nobody is that clever, wise, virtuous, unbiased, emphatic, loving, gifted, or unselfish to be able to provide decent life for all human beings and to organize human society and the planet Earth for the benefit for all. There is no right to rule nor right to be in power. Nevertheless, a few individuals make themselves appear that they have that right. Decisions regarding human society and the earth can be and must be made by all people together. This should be accomplished through agreement, knowledge, education in the field of organization of human society, through rational organization and through law and order. There are more than 6.5 billion of minds, at least 13 billion of working hands, abilities of geniuses and creative qualities of everyone. Let US start working. Nobody else will do IT for US. We want everybody to have information about human society and to educate himself in the field of organization of human society. We want everybody to learn to make decisions for himself and for others. We can start with internet forums where we can have discussions, provide all information and suggest new projects to make life better for all. The above mentioned doesn't apply to all politicians who verifiably don't do harm.
Kennedy, do solemnly swear
I, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, do solemnly swear
that you will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States
that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States
and will, to the best of your ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
So help you God.
So help me God.
Vice President Johnson, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chief Justice, President Eisenhower, Vice President Nixon, President Truman, Reverend clergy, fellow citizens. We observe today not a victory of party, but a celebration of freedom, symbolizing an end as well as a beginning, signifying renewal as well as change. For I have sworn before you and Almighty God the same solemn oath our forebears prescribed nearly a century and 3/4 ago. The world is very different now, for man holds in his mortal hand the power to abolish all forms of human poverty and all forms of human life. And yet the same revolutionary beliefs for which our forebears fought are still at issue around the globe. The belief that the rights of man come not from the generosity of the state, but from the hand of God. We dare not forget today that we are the heirs of that first revolution. Let the word go forth from this time and place to friend and foe alike that the torch has been passed to a new generation of Americans born in this century, tempered by war, disciplined by a hard and bitter peace, proud of our ancient heritage, and unwilling to witness or permit the slow undoing of those human rights to which this nation has always been committed and to which we are committed today at home and around the world. Let every nation know, whether it wishes us well or ill, that we shall pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship, support any friend, oppose any foe, to assure the survival and the success of liberty. This much we pledge and more. To those old allies whose cultural and spiritual origins we share, we pledge the loyalty of faithful friends. United, there is little we cannot do in a host of cooperative ventures. Divided, there is little we can do, for we dare not meet a powerful challenge at odds and split asunder. To those new states whom we welcome to the ranks of the free, we pledge our word that one form of colonial control shall not have passed away, merely to be replaced by a far more iron tyranny. We shall not always expect to find them supporting our view, but we shall always hope to find them strongly supporting their own freedom, and to remember that in the past, those who foolishly sought power by riding the back of the tiger ended up inside. To those people in the huts and villages across the globe, struggling to break the bonds of mass misery, we pledge our best efforts to help them help themselves. For whatever period is required, not because the communists may be doing it, not because we seek their votes, but because it is right. If a free society cannot help the many who are poor, it cannot save the few who are rich. To our sister republic, south of our border, we offer a special pledge to convert our good words into good deeds, in a new alliance of progress, to assist free men and free government in casting off the chains of poverty. But this peaceful revolution of hope cannot become the prey of hostile powers. Let all our neighbors know that we shall join with them to oppose aggression or subversion anywhere in the Americas. And let every other power know that this hemisphere intends to remain the master of its own house. To that World Assembly of Sovereign States, the United Nations, our last best hope, in an age where the instruments of war have far outpaced the instruments of peace, we renew our pledge of support to prevent it from becoming merely a forum for invective, to strengthen its shield of the new and the weak, and to enlarge the area in which its threats may run. Finally, to those nations who would make themselves our adversary, we offer not a pledge, but a request that both sides begin anew the quest for peace. Before the dark powers of destruction, unleashed by science, engulf all humanity in planned or accidental self-destruction. We dare not tempt them with weakness, for only when our arms are sufficient beyond doubt can we be certain beyond doubt that they will never be employed. But neither can two great and powerful groups of nations take comfort from our present course, both sides overburdened by the cost of modern weapons, both rightly alarmed by the steady spread of the deadly atom, yet both racing to alter that uncertain balance of terror that stays the hand of mankind's final war. So let us begin anew, remembering on both sides that stability is not a sign of weakness, and sincerity is always subject to proof. Let us never negotiate out of fear, but let us never fear to negotiate. Let both sides explore what problems unite us, instead of belaboring those problems which divide us. Let both sides, for the first time, formulate serious and precise proposals for the inspection and control of arms, and bring the absolute power to destroy other nations under the absolute control of all nations. Let both sides seek to invoke the wonders of science instead of its terrors. Together, let us explore the stars, conquer the desert, eradicate disease, cap the ocean depths, and encourage the arts and commerce. Let both sides unite in all corners of the earth the command of Isaiah to undo the heavy burden and let the oppressed go free. And if a beachhead of cooperation may push back the jungle of suspicion, let both sides join in creating a new endeavor. Not a new balance of power, but a new world of law, where the strong are just, and the weak secure, and the peace preserved. All this will not be finished in the first 100 days, nor will it be finished in the first 1,000 days, nor in the life of this administration, nor even perhaps in our lifetime on this planet. But let us begin. In your hands, my fellow citizens, more than mine, will rest the final success or failure of our cause. Since this country was founded, each generation of Americans has been summoned to give testimony to its national loyalty. The graves of young Americans who answered the call to service around the globe. Now the trumpet summons us again, not as a call to bear arms, though arms we need, not as a call to battle, though in battle we are, but a call to bear the burden of a long twilight struggle, year in and year out, rejoicing in hope, patient in tribulation, a struggle against the common enemy of man, tyranny, poverty, disease, and war itself. Can we forge against these enemies in grand and global alliance?